Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have what is probably the coolest web camera, or I can't even really call it that, humanly imaginable. And I'm going to turn it on its side here so you can see it. So this is the Coolpo AI Huddle Pana, and this was recently announced at CES 2021, and that's where I came into contact with these fine people. And they wanted me to take a look at this, and the first experience I had with it was actually being on the receiving end. We set up a conference call, and they were using one of these in their office, and it was a very surreal experience because I could see the whole room, and there was something about that really changed the experience of being on a conference call for me. And when they gave me the opportunity to check one out for myself, I immediately said yes, because I think this is something really, really cool and could be a solution for some of you. Now, I will say that this is definitely a premium device with business in mind, okay? So when it comes down to the features, they are very impressive, and there is a price tag to match that, but I think it's one that does make a little bit of sense. Let's go ahead and unbox this first, and then I'll tell you about the specifications, because I think that those need to go hand in hand. So let's slice the plastic cover that we've got here. So inside the top we have a user's manual and this VIP customer service card. And we have two boxes in the top, likely containing accessories. A large foam block that very much would protect the camera. And then the camera itself. Here is the unit itself. It stands rather tall on the desk at approximately just over 11 inches, not quite the full foot. And it would appear that there is a cover on the top that I would keep around because it will protect this fisheye lens that we have on the very top of the unit there that's going to do all of the heavy lifting. It would also appear that we might have touch capacitive buttons on the front for probably speaker volume and the microphone, and if that is the case, then that is very, very exciting. And then if we look under here, it looks like power and USB are hidden underneath, which is actually kind of classy because that means that depending on where you put this, you can actually hide the cabling entirely. So if you are putting this in like a boardroom, that's going to be important. You want to keep the cabling all nice and tidy. And the USB end looks like the one that you would normally find on some external hard drive enclosures. Let us open up these accessory boxes and see what we get inside. We've got the power adapter, which is pretty standard. And then I suspect over here is our USB cable. And that is indeed the case. It is worth pointing out that this is USB 3, and I suspect, given the nature of the camera, you do need USB 3 to actually run this. So let's just do a quick test and plug all of this in and see what we get. Okay, we do have power plugged into the unit as well as the USB 3 cable. There we go. It's a press and hold situation there. We do have this blue light emanating from the bottom, which is, I think that's pretty classy. I'm presuming that it might have a bit of a startup sequence. So just off screen, I have a T430S with an i7 CPU in there, just because I wanted to make sure that it had enough juice to handle such an intense camera. And it is currently running OBS just because I want to see what will happen. And lo and behold, it detected the camera just fine. Okay, so what you have is footage being captured live from my film space, known as my kitchen. And you can see below in the frame there a 360 panorama, which I will lightly blur just because there is personal information of mine hanging around. And that's actually a good thing to mention about this camera, is that you need to be 100% certain of what's in your film space because it does capture everything around. So that is a consideration where you set up this camera. It will literally see everything from a 60-degree angle upward And yeah, just be aware of that. So as you can see, it is focusing on me right now. I'm fully in the frame. And if another person walks in, or if it detects audio from another source, then it will actually focus on that and treat it as a human object. So I don't have anybody else around right now, thanks to COVID. And the meetings that I have attended, I unfortunately can't record due to privacy and security reasons. But I can give you a couple of ideas on what this essentially ends up working like. So if I go into a video that I, for example, have copyright and control over, and if I put my phone over here, episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today this is a bit of an unscripted video, but I did have both of these machines in the studio, and I thought, you know what, this would be a neat opportunity. So as you can see, it's focusing on the audio coming from the phone, and it's cropped that out, which is really, really cool. And if I tell it to stop and stop simulating another person speaking, then once it no longer detects it, it simply goes away just like that. So as you can see, really, really cool technology. It's got a good microphone. I'm not using my normal lapel mic on this. It's simply capturing from the device itself. It's really, really neat. Some real good technical specs. I will put those up on the screen for your consideration, but we're talking about a really, really cool piece of kit. So ladies and gentlemen, I've used this thing for about a week now on various calls at work and at home, and honestly, I've found this to be probably the best all-in-one webcam conference experience I've ever had. And I've had quite a few since COVID has started up, and there's a lot of value in this thing. The microphones are fantastic, the camera is excellent, the auto crop technology in the 360 frame works really, really well, and the speaker in it is great. It's got some awesome audio. So this is audio that I am capturing using the built-in microphones of the Coolpo, and I will be playing this audio back through the speakers and recording it with the camera. There's just so much to like about this thing. I think if you have an application where this is actually applicable, you will be very, very happy with it. Granted, it's not for everyone, but if you are interested in picking one of these things up, I'll leave some information in the description on where you can get one of these for yourself. I think that if it does sound like it would meet your needs, that you'll be pretty happy with the results. I am hoping that the specific software package will be released soon, and when it is, I will take a look at that, because that should allow a little bit more control on the camera. The automatic AI that it has is excellent, but to be able to get a little bit more control, I think would be even better yet. At any rate, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would encourage you to do the big four. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, so if I give you any updates, you'll be the first to know about it on this camera. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.